Hey there guys, Reckon here, and welcome back to Act 4. And last episode kind of ended on this, and, it's necessary. The last day before summer vacations is waning slowly. Science is the final exam of the trimester, and then we are free. The collective yearning for liberty is almost palpable in the room, even though the weather seems to be a tad cloudy. It might rain today, who knows? I've already finished the test because it was pretty easy, so I'm doodling lazy on the flip side of the paper waiting for Muto to call time. It also prevents Misha from trying to covertly look at my answers over my shoulder. She might fool the inattentive teacher, but I can tell she's trying to look. I guess it's her best bet at passing the test. Doesn't really feel any mercy though, so I just ignore her and look back around. And look around me. It's quiet. The only sounds in the classroom are the quiet shuffling of papers and Muto's constant coughing. It makes my awareness of the surroundings slowly drift to the backstage of consciousness, giving room to other things. Vacation, huh? Some people will stay at the school even over the holidays, some will go back to their families. I don't know what to do. I should go buy a train ticket for my trip back home, but I can't bring myself to do it. I bet I'm going to get a call from home again. Mom's going to pester me about when I'm coming back, and I'm not going to know what to answer. This is really lousy. In the current state of things with Ren, it feels like I can't just bail out of here and pretend we're through. And now, she has other problems of her own. I thought the exhibition opening would give her a breather, but I was sorely mistaken. The tangle just seems to thicken. A sharp knock on the door interrupts the quiet but frantic mood of the last 15 minutes of the exam. Come in. The opening door reveals the art teacher, who steps in with his jacket swirling around him as though in a gust of wind. He glances at Muto, who glances back at him. A frown spreads simultaneously on both of their faces as the men measure each other with their gazes. Excuse me, could I borrow Mr. Nakai for a moment? Excuse me, Mr. Namiya, but we're in the middle of exam here. A chilly atmosphere suddenly spreads in the middle of the summer afternoon as the two men try to stare each other down. This is urgent. It seems that Nakai has already finished. Both men turn to look at me, staring at me like a pair of basilisks trying to petrify a tasty snack. It's true that I've been idle for a good while now, so Nami is right, but... Nakai, would you like to check your answers one more time? Muto speaks with an odd intonation, weighing certain words as if trying to send a message. The pressure from the stairs makes me rapidly shake my head, which is apparently interpreted as an answer of some sort. Very well, Nakai. Go with Mr. Namiya, if you please. Take your bag with you and bring your test paper to my desk. You have a nice vacation. You too, teacher. The entire world, well, at least the classroom, seems to hold its breath just for me, putting the exam on hold until I stand up, collect my stuff, and walk to the door. I can feel the stares in the back of my neck. My classmates probably think I'm in for some detention or something on the last day of school before summer vacation. I don't know what the teacher wants from me, but I can guess it's probably not detention, and also probably has something to do with Ren again. Namiya doesn't take me anywhere, contenting himself with the hallway as it's completely abandoned. Do you know where Tezuka is? So she's trying to avoid the teacher. Forfeit the course, probably. I wonder if she realizes that she can't avoid dealing with this indefinitely. I have no idea. You've probably asked her from her homeroom next year. Next year. Of course I have. I searched every nook and cranny of this blasted school in the girls' dorm. You were the last one to see her since yesterday, and you are her friend. Work with me here. Aren't you worried? I am, but I don't know what I can do. Ren did something incomprehensible yesterday, even for her. She seemed really confused. Maybe she just wants some time to think then. I got the feeling that she had second thoughts about having that exhibition. Or something. She didn't really explain what was wrong. What second thoughts? I don't know, just got that feeling. I am being a little dishonest with the teacher, but this is not something I should be meddling with. He came to me. Yes, why? Maybe he thinks I'm some kind of confidant of Ren's, but I don't think I can help with this matter. The teacher huffs and scratches his head in confusion. What's up with that girl? This is so unlike her. She's always been so goal-driven. Goal-driven? Those don't really strike me as words to describe Ren with. To me, she always felt obsessive at best. I don't mean to be rude, but wasn't it you who pushed Ren into that direction in the first place? Her goal is my goal. That is a mentor's job. I guess so. I just don't know if painting can make her happy. That's pretty preposterous of you to say, Nakai. He suddenly sounds pretty irate. Did I say something stupid? You don't understand, do you? It's not a question of happiness. For every gain, there is a sacrifice to be made. There's no free lunch, but would I let that girl waste away her talent if she had a moment of doubt? Never! Painting is a work just like any other. Tezuka might make it look like child's play to you, but she works hard every day to make her art. To become extraordinary, one has to make an extraordinary effort. And as a reference to still waiting... Actually, no, I was waiting. The only difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that a little extra. For those of you who've seen Waiting. The more the teacher talks, the more I feel that Rin doesn't think like that, even though I have no idea how she thinks. I can very well understand why she would sacrifice her summer vacation to make up for the lost classes and exams to get a chance at showing her art. This is the path she has taken to go all the way, and that's not easy. To go all the way, that's not easy. I know she is young and things are hard for her just like for all the kids here in the school, but that's no excuse. He is finished. But, do you have anything like art? What art is to Tezuka? No? That's right, I only have vague ideas of my future, no goal to shoot for, no dream to blindly reach for. I joined the art club in search of something I could be interested in and to get inspired by. Did I find something like that? All I found in the end was Ren. No, I don't have a passion like that. Then you can't understand. His flat statement allows no counter-argument. But she might not understand even herself. Still, I carry on arguing out of spite if for nothing else. How could she not? She's been at it so hard for the past few weeks that she put off even coming to school, not to say anything about attending class. Don't be ridiculous. I don't think I'm being ridiculous, but as I have no rebuttal, Namiya seems to consider this one his win. At any rate, the opening was quite successful despite Tezuka hardly showing up. Many people were interested in her work and one piece was even sold for a reasonable price. Well, that's nice, isn't it? Yes, it's fantastic news. I hoped that Tezuka would come to her senses when she heard about this, but... He sighs and takes off his glasses, cleaning them against his jacket before putting them on his nose again. At any rate, I should be going. There's this mess to be settled with Sei and everyone. If you see Tezuka, please ask her to come see me. Otherwise, have a nice vacation. Thanks. After he has just disappeared out around the corner, I ponder where Ren really could be. It feels like she has not one, but at least half a dozen of these secret places. I balance between the desire to solve this tangle and to drop it for good. The disused classroom is just a few feet away. What to do? As I push open the door, only the shadows greet me from the inside. Hey there. She's standing in the middle of the sunlit room, peering through the gaps of the curtains out into the yard. Like so often before, she doesn't start or jump, just calmly waits for me to make the first move. I don't remember what song this is. Might be more of a decision. Might be. No, I'll leave that. It's as if she's trying to become a permanent part of the furniture. The teacher's looking for you. A blank look over her shoulder is all I get, accompanied by a cryptic non-expression on her face. Are you looking for me too? Nah, I already found you, didn't I? Did you? She furrows her brow, looking so puzzled that it makes me wonder if the question was asked in all seriousness. Maybe it was. Are you talking metaphorically now? Do you mean like eels, caves, and dark, stormy nights? I'm bad at talking like that. The abruptly ending greetings give me the chance to close the door behind me and sit down on a dust-covered desktop. Ren stays standing, but only she turns around. I soon wish she didn't, though, so oppressive is her expectant stare. This is her place and I'm an intruder, although a tolerated one. Despite that, she still waits for me to say something. If I only knew what. The sunlit silence presses me toward decisions. I came here without really thinking what I would do, apart from delivering Nami's short message in case Ren was here. She was, and now I don't know what else I want to say. What else I should say. I hover between my two options for a moment. Ren being troubled troubles me too. It's a surprising revelation, almost as big as realizing that she really is troubled was. Nothing I can do would probably help, and I might be partially to blame too. Does it mean I should just wash my hands of her? Didn't think so. So, what's wrong? Nothing. She starts to turn away again, as if trying to physically exit a conversation she doesn't want to have. Ren, stop trying to dodge me or I'll leave. Okay. Do you want me to leave? Are you still angry? It took us, or was it only me, 10 seconds to swamp the conversation into this. I wish we could erase the past, or failing that, forget all about it. I've wished for that more than once in the last few months. Let's put that aside for the time being, alright? If you say so. I do. So, what's wrong? Say and Namio were not too happy that you just ran off yesterday. You left him in quite a pinch, and I suppose the teacher wants some kind of an explanation. It seemed like you just threw out everything you would work for. I don't get why. Did I make a mistake? My reprimanding and her flat answer goes so much against the usual expectations and presumed interaction that it might just be, well, someone else talking. Neither of us is like we used to be. This stiff, constricting feeling I get every time I look at Ren nowadays seems to be mirrored in her own behavior. I hate things that go irreparably wrong. Ever since February, I've hated them. What can I say? Her question is trailed by a compelling quizzical stare that makes me sigh and frown. Conversations nobody wants to have are the worst. I don't know. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it was probably pretty stupid. She responds with a sigh of her own, although hers is not nearly as heavy as mine was. I just couldn't do it. But why? What's wrong? A pause, a furrowed brow, a quiet voice. Let it be, Sal. I don't think I can really explain it in a way that would make sense. Yeah, Ren doesn't want to have the conversation either. That may be for the better. But how rare of her to admit that even she has some kind of limits. I always thought Ren was all but ignorant of her tendency to get distracted so much that she inadvertently obfuscates everything she says. You never explained anything in a way that would make sense. Nobody else has ever asked me to. I guess that's how it is. But I always wanted to make sense of you, to find out who you are. I still want to, can't you see? I know you can't, but I do. Is that why I keep this up? It pains you as much as it pains me. It's unlikely to be of any use to either. We did things and said things that can't be undone. It's as if you and me being close to each other just hurts us both, but we still deliberately keep doing it. Isn't that silly? Even now I can see how you force yourself to respond, even though you owe me nothing. Even if it's hard to talk about things like this. Why? Why is it that you paint? Because I don't know what else I could do. It's like this feeling that there's no choice, that it's the only possibility. Like when there's only watermelon-flavored popsicles left in the store, but you needed to eat a popsicle. Her poor metaphor aside, she didn't really answer anything. If possible, this makes even less sense than not knowing. But if you don't want to paint, not like that, you had to come to the school even though you probably didn't want to have a heart attack. She pauses, frowning as if something in what she said didn't please her. At least, I think you wouldn't. Her careful follow-up was followed in turn by another, shorter pause with another smaller frown. Would you like to have a heart attack? No, I wouldn't, and I didn't want to. But you're doing fine, aren't you? Or are you still sad about it? Ren's question makes me realize that I really haven't thought about my illness for weeks. Aside from chugging down my medication every day, there's been no need to concern myself with my broken heart, which I'm only thankful for, really. Getting to know new people, a new school, a new town, a new life has all caught me and made the past fade away. Now, I guess even I can't dwell on the past indefinitely. See, even watermelon doesn't really taste bad if you have to eat it. Her half-nonsensical closure seems to put an end to the subject in Ren's mind, so I just nod in uncertain confirmation. If you look at it, you can kind of understand the point she's trying to make. I would assume what she's trying to get at is that you really want a popsicle, and it's only watermelon-flavored popsicles, but you don't want a watermelon-flavored popsicle. I think that's the point she's trying to make. And again, even watermelon doesn't really taste bad if you have to eat it. There are two kinds of silences, awkward ones that you want to break, and comfortable ones that you don't mind. The first kind is bad because it makes your thoughts go awry, like mine do now. Looking at Ren makes me feel bad. I don't want to feel like this. Looking at Ren makes me feel exhausted. I really tried my best. She tried too. I have no idea. But we ended up like this, and she ended up screwing up her exhibition opening. It feels like we're at a dead end. There's no direction to continue to. I reached out for her yesterday thinking it would be the last time. She walked away. I want to be me. What the heck does that even mean? Ren, if anyone, is most definitely herself. I feel kind of relieved that I'm not the one to blame, but this still grates on my mind. Why did she run away? Didn't make sense yesterday. Doesn't make sense today. The things she said feel like they should make sense, but they just don't to me. You know, about that thing you just said. Which one of them? Painting. Something like that to me before. That a true artist does not paint because she wants to, but because she must. And I've been wondering about what she said. Why do artists have to paint? My question is probably pretty stupid. At least Ren looks at me in the blank way that seems to say so. I don't know. Am I an artist? Well, you paint stuff and you have an exhibition too. I'd say you qualify. I think I still don't know, but okay. The thinking pause that follows seems to last for half an eternity. Unlike most people, Ren doesn't flavor her thinking pauses by body language or saying like or anything. I've noticed that I might prefer that way. The usual way even annoys me, as if people were so infatuated by the sound of their own voice that they just have to keep making some noise, even when they are just thinking what they could say next. Ren just comes to a full stop when she's thinking. It's disconcerting because reacting to people spacing out is always hard, but she comes off as less obnoxious. I think I want someone to see what's inside of me, not the way doctors and serial killers do. The way that doesn't make me feel lonely. This is what you call metaphorical, you see. Please don't lecture me about self-evident things. It's not self-evident that this is self-evident. So you present a painting to someone and expect them to magically see a glimpse of your soul? It's not like that. It's just a little like that, but not really. Don't you understand? I do, and I don't. You know, I feel a little bit of despair every time you ask that question. What question? About whether I understand you or not. She seems almost surprised at my clarification. Oh, it's not really a question. It's one of those kind that you don't have to answer. Rhetorical. Yeah, that's the word. A question that's not a question is a rhetorical question. How nice. That reminds me, it doesn't really make sense. What kind of question is one that isn't a question? A rhetorical one. What kind of an answer is an answer that doesn't answer anything? Is that a rhetorical question? You are not funny. But if you don't like it, would you like me to say something else instead? I don't have any good ones, though. How about, your pants are on fire? This can be our secret language. Ren's honest-to-goodness silliness, made twice more ridiculous by the fact that I know she's dead serious, derails me like it always does. It's like some kind of safety lock to prevent me from becoming too much of a worrywart, dragging my own thoughts off the ground where they should be. It makes me smile confusedly, but only on the inside. Even though the corners of my mouth are not drawing into a grin, I'm still impressed by her ease of wrecking any attempt at being too serious. Could she, should she will so, forget and ignore things that bug her, things that bother her? Could she, should she will so, be free of whatever burden being her means? Or am I the only one who feels burdened by being myself? No thanks. But still, the times when I feel that I'm on the same page as you are pretty rare. It feels like there's this huge gap, and sometimes you just go to the other side and I don't have any way to reach you from where I am. It feels like you are in some completely different place at times, even though you're right here. That's right. There's an insurmountable discontinuity, an imaginary glass wall that blocks comprehension from happening. There might be such a gap between any two people, but with Ren it feels more tangible. Ren does not react to my thoughts, not to the ones I uttered aloud, nor the ones I did not. It's even worse with art. I'm not very good at art, I'll admit it. I joined the art club because I thought it would be interesting. And I guess it is. I like art, I like your art too. But just like with you, I can't comprehend it. And I'm pretty sure nobody really can. It seems to worry her slightly. You think so? Yeah, I guess that art is meant to be interpreted, not understood. That's how I'd put it. That's a sad thought. I guess it might feel like one. Does it make you feel sad for yourself? Ren thinks about this for a while and then shakes her head surprisingly vehemently. The first thing she focuses her eyes on afterward is me. Both of these things make me glad and relieved. That's good, isn't it? Anyway, you should go see the teacher and apologize properly. I think he's worried about you. Can you do that? This time she nods her head. Only it's not as vehement. Alright, we're getting awfully close to some really powerful scenes. This one, a little bit. No, this one's got some power. The next one has more. Really, I can basically say this. Pretty much from here on is just really good, written, powerful scenes. I think I can confidently say that. This is It's a good mix of what I don't know, but it's a good mix. It works. So, let's go. The hallway is empty, almost intimidating. Namiya's office is the art classroom at the other end of the third floor hallway. Our steps echo disturbingly. The atmosphere is unlike on a normal afternoon. Feels like the school knows that nobody will be coming back for a month, too. The door is open, but not very inviting. I'll, wait outside. Nodding barely noticeably, Ren strides in without stopping, and naturally without knocking. Maybe that's why it takes a few seconds before he hears the teacher's voice from inside. There you are! Hello? A conflict arises. Should I stay here or go somewhere else? I'm not sure if I even want to eavesdrop on them. Manners lose to curiosity, and so I stay close enough to listen in. Their voices echo in the hallway, but no matter. There's nobody around, save for me. Dear girl, what on earth are you thinking leaving like that on the big night? I couldn't say anything. Compared to Namiya's scolding tone, Ren sounds awfully quiet and withdrawn. Her words seem to drown under his. I have to say, I'm very disappointed in you, Tezuka. It's no good at all. Never mind all the things I did for you, but what about say? What about all the guests who wanted to meet you? There was nobody, even Sal. You've embarrassed us very badly, Tezuka. Reputation is what counts. Surely you know that. It's alright. I don't need it. Don't need? What do you think you know? Ren's replies only seemed to agitate the teacher more, his voice rising with every sentence. The path of an artist is a thorny one, I'll tell you that. Thorny! You have to see the big picture. There will be bad times and good times. Things are like they are. It'll be alright even. You might now think that it's oh so wonderful and easy, but how far would you have gotten without me? I won't always be there for you. When you lie on the floor of your minuscule room, you're rent 3 weeks late, your mind blank for the 4th week straight, and you will wish that you would listen to old Nami a bit more. When you keep measuring how the shadow of your chair becomes longer over the spring because that's all your lethargy allows, maybe that's when you will start caring about your career. That doesn't matter. Your resolve is not enough. I'm not a resolved person. You're not a resolved person. Then tell me, why did we go through all this trouble if it amounts to a mosquito shit? Oh dear. Teacher blew a fuse. Him yelling at Ren makes me feel bystander's guilt. If I'd gone with her, maybe he wouldn't have gotten so angry. If I'd not let her run away, he wouldn't have gotten angry in the first place. I could still go and save her. I don't think I can. I was the same. I yelled at Ren too, and I'm feeling all the more embarrassed about it now. I felt justified to vent my anger at her face just because I felt it was her fault I was so frustrated. I was no more justified than the teacher is. A terrible silence sets upon the hallway. Ren does not have anything to say to Namiya. Whether she's run out of answers or she knows that arguing would only make him angry is anyone's guess. The teacher has nothing more to say either, it seems, or maybe just ran out of breath. For a moment, I imagined the two of them just staring at each other, one full of red-hot anger, the other full of... Yes? What? I can't tell how Ren feels. Not before, not now. Teacher seems to expect Ren to say something too, but since she doesn't, he finally continues in a quieter but not less angry voice. What worth is there in doing so much work if the outcome is nothing? Still, Ren will not say anything. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gotten so excited. He does not sound sorry at all. Rather, his tone is cold and sharp, like he was spitting the words out of his mouth. It seems that I was expecting too much. You're not an artist after all. Yeah, not sorry at all. He storms out of the club room and down the stairs without noticing me. After he's gone, I peek carefully inside the classroom. Ren is left standing there in front of the teacher's desk. I couldn't say I'm sorry. She says it into the humid air of the classroom, not to me. But since the room won't answer her, I will have to. That was unfair of him. He was angry, but still. I can't decide how to end my sentence. Disdaining the teacher feels like disdaining my own behavior from 2 days ago. Stupid, but correct in hindsight. Ren won't answer, staying petrified where she stands, so I walk up to her. She stood up for herself, in a way. I didn't expect that. I can't determine whether it's unbecoming or not, but either way, she did it. Against me, she never did. I sort of wish she had. Maybe I would not feel this bad then. Lately, it really seems that I've been wishing for all kinds of things. Ren? Go away. Why, what are you saying? You're angry with me too, right? Thought you were my friend. Thought he was too. Her voice is unlike I've ever heard. It's bitter, sharp like needles, and she keeps staring pointedly at her toes. I don't think it's about that. He wanted you to be something you're not, and I take a deep breath and finally catch your eyes in my own, locking our gazes. I'm sorry. I wanted us to be something else too, more than friends. Maybe that's why I couldn't contain myself and became so frustrated, just like the teacher did. What more? There's nothing more to me than me, that's all I am. I don't understand that. Well, the answer should be obvious, right? I remember myself thinking of the purpose of friendship, to put up with everything and anything, to be there for your friend. Did I fail as a friend, thinking to be a stepping stone for something else? Maybe because of those thoughts, I didn't manage to put up with things, to keep it together. As outrageous as Ren is and was, I shouldn't have let myself get caught into that, especially when I started feeling the way I did toward her. So, did I fail? That's what her eyes seemed to ask. I'm sorry, Ren. I might not be able to be your friend. I don't think I could ever be a good friend to you. I say these things because they are true, not because one of us would like to hear them. But they are something that must be said. The finality of my words creates a shaking silence, for what could either of us add to that? Why? Why does all this happen? People are doing things I don't ask for and don't want, and everyone keeps getting angry at me, and I have no idea what's going on anymore, and I can't stop feeling like I want to run away from everything. She shuts her eyes tight and breathes out deeply, calmly. When the eyelids open, all I can see is dark green desperation. I have no idea what's wrong with me. Her frenetic outburst stupefies me for a moment, and for a heartbeat we just gaze into each other's face. Seeing her confused eyes, desperately looking for answers from mine, only makes me sad, because I know I have none. I don't know either. But you know, you yourself said that things are not right nor wrong. They just are. You either accept them, or change them, or give up. It's not that I hate you, or that Teacher Namiya does. I just think that I'm the kind of person who gives up when he feels he can't go on. And even if you hate it, this is how things are. I'm saying pretty cruel things, but I can't stop myself. The words keep rolling off my tongue with slow, hard certainty. I can see them hitting Ren almost like physical blows. As the wetness gathers into the corners of her eyes, they are still wide with the shock of rejection. As the tears start rolling down her pale cheeks, she does nothing to stop them. As they fall down on the floor one by one, she stands still, staring at me with a gaze full of hollow disbelief. But reality catches up. Ren slumps forward as if she was deflating and buries her face as deep in my shirt as she can. Ren is heavy and feather-light when I support her weight. She doesn't really sob or bawl, just leans against me, letting her tears burn through my shirt into the skin underneath. And I let her, bringing my hand around her shoulders in a clumsy hug that does no good to comfort her. I can feel Ren's vertebrae against my fingertips like hard and jagged reminders of how messed up things are. Her slim shoulder quivering against my palm is a pitiable sight, and the hopelessness of being part of the cause for Ren's sadness keeps shredding my heart. To make a girl cry is the most despicable thing to do. Even Ren. Especially Ren. Behind that veil of aloofness, Ren is just a human being, too. Just as confused, scared, and lost as any of us is. Most of the time it seems there's no rhyme or reason for what Ren does and says, but for once I think I really understand how she feels. But no words can express it, and no words can make it better. So wordless we stay, quietly waiting for her tears to run out. Time passes agonizingly slowly, even the lacy specks of dust floating in the air seem to pause into a standstill. The obligatory wall clock is ticking distractingly from above the door. I decide against counting the seconds because it would make them feel longer. Eventually Ren stirs a little and, still smothering herself against my chest, mutters into my shirt. Let me be here for a while. Please, Sal. Just give me a little while. A soothing deluge spreads into my consciousness, the knowledge that while being here for Ren is all I can do for her, that's all she wants right now, even after all we've gone through. Sure. So she stays there. But I still can't bring myself to draw her closer so I can embrace her properly. It's because doing it would just make me feel so sad that I don't know if I could bear it. The realization that we might never really be able to become what we want to be for the other crystallizes into my mind as a diamond-heart enlightenment. A pang surges through my heart like an electric shock. It's painful. This clarity hurts. What can we be for each other? What meaning is there for us to desperately cling to each other even though it seems so futile? What should I say to Ren? How to make her feel better? I do not know any of those things, and I fear knowing them would only hurt more. Forcefully, I push all of that out of my mind because I don't want to be thinking of hurtful truths. My thoughts calm down soon enough, the sadness disperses until all that is left is me and Ren and the tender feeling of her warmth and softness against my chest. When did I fall in love with her? I can't remember, but I'm certain it was way before the warm touch of her lips on my own, on that orange-colored afternoon when she was sick with cold and I went to see her because of unclear reasons. Her carefree attitude, the air of otherness around her, all the things that make Ren herself, those things captured me with irresistible force. The way she could take in anything and everything, giving it only the value she herself placed, weighing all things fairly and without prejudice, seeing the world as she wanted. This is something I could never do, and Ren was probably more of a muse to me than anything ever was to her. She seemed so free to me, truly a free spirit, while I, constantly worrying about everything, seemed so inhibited that it was almost embarrassing. Maybe that's why I latched so tightly onto Ren, trying to get inside her world that was so different from my own bleak life. Before I noticed it, that irresistible force had pulled me dangerously close to her, but it turned out to be way too alien for me. And I'd forgotten Newton of all things. The gravitational force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the objects. So if two people feel something for each other... Even though her feelings are not governed by the constants of the universe, I can't help thinking that for some time now I've been a satellite to Ren's brightly shining planet. Planet Ren. The thought makes me almost laugh. She really does seem to be from another planet at times, minus the green skin and possibly some tentacles. Perhaps because of my stifled laughter, Ren pulls away and I let her go, feeling the cold when her warmth goes away, and slight embarrassment for letting my thoughts run wild like that. I credit that as Ren being a bad influence on me, while being glad at the same time that she can't read thoughts for real. Ren's bitter tears have dried up, and she looks a little more like herself again. The lost look in her eyes is still there, though. Her gaze wanders around restlessly before stopping at me. What happened just now? Can you tell me? What? What do you mean? I cried. She says that hesitantly, as if not believing in herself. Yes. She keeps staring at me, as if pleading a guidance so that she wouldn't have to feel so lost. Why? You were sad. Is that what you want me to say? But isn't that obvious? I don't know. It feels weird to cry. What? I don't believe it. I mean, everyone does that. It's I bite my tongue before I finish my argument about normality. Norms do not apply to the person I'm talking to. It always felt so wrong, different from what is in me, like I couldn't really tell what I felt. So I started thinking that maybe I don't know what I'm feeling. Maybe it's me who's wrong. I thought those kinds of things. I thought that painting was enough because it felt like I did at least that right. That all that is inside me could become a picture if I tried really hard. And it could. But it doesn't feel like it's enough anymore, because if nobody else can see that, I will still be alone. Was it wrong to try? Everyone got really angry at me for that. I've rarely heard Ren say this much at once before. Once she finishes, she simply shuts up, looking so neutral that it's hard to believe she just said what she said. I don't know what to think. Ren was desperate for someone to look at her paintings and somehow see right through them into her soul to understand her feelings. Because she felt she could not express them in any other way? How can one say whether that is right or wrong? Could it be that all this time she's been trying to reach out to me like I've tried to reach out to her? I sit down on a desk to think and rest my legs. It kept us both standing for a long while. You know, when I read a good book or look at a starry sky or whatever, sometimes I too feel something profound, like a... shoot, I don't know how to describe it. But the instance I try to put it into words, I feel that I lose something. It doesn't feel as real, as true as it did inside my head. It feels a bit phony. Damn, even what I just said felt phony. I offer a smile that is meant to be between funny and self-deprecating, but Ren doesn't react. Anyway, it might be that nobody can ever express their true feelings so that others understand. Reality has no chance of living up to what someone has inside their head. Nothing can match that, not even your paintings, except maybe for you. But I suppose you can't keep everything inside, you'd explode for real then. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think it's wrong to express your feelings, even if you use painting as your conduit. You just can't expect people to understand you any better than they would if you did in any other way. In fact, you can't expect people to understand you at all. It's because everything is so subjective. You see the world the way you do, but it's different from everyone else. But isn't that terrible? Yes, it is in a way. She frowns, looking probably as stricken as you can, which is not much, but it's enough for me to understand that Ren is not particularly happy. think it might make me sad after all. Yeah, I know. Wish I could do something to help it. I don't think I sound bitter, even though I am a little. This is my problem. I cannot be what Ren wants for her. And for the same reason, she can't do the same for me either. She makes a difficult face, carefully trying to pick the words she wants to say. So Ren has times when it's hard to say anything too. It can't be helped, I think. But if you say that, it makes you feel a little bit better. It's funny how some seemingly irrelevant things are the most significant ones at times like this. Like how Ren's voice is very, very small, barely audible when she says that. And how even her short bangs can cover her eyes when she looks downward. And how they can't cover the deep red color rising on her cheeks and all the way to the tips of her ears. They turn into a very interesting shade of red. A deafening silence follows. It's very awkward, as if I saw something that wasn't meant to be seen, even if it wasn't on purpose. I don't know what to say to that, but I keep feeling like I should know. She doesn't either. Still, it feels like there's no momentum to lose even if we keep silent. Like we have some weird, wordless connection that it wouldn't hold even so. Ren keeps shifting her weight from one foot to the other restlessly, looking everywhere around the room except at me. She is the one who finally breaks the spell. Can we go? I don't want to stay here. Oh, yeah, of course. Where? Our reply is covering my nervousness as badly as her question is covering hers. You can go wherever you like. I want to sleep. I haven't really slept for a few weeks. It feels like there's a flock of light blue butterflies inside my head. Makes it hard to think properly. The kind that you think is too blue to really exist, like Emmy's panties this morning. She shakes her head, and I almost expect a couple of ultramarine-covered morphos to pop out of her ears. A small smile tugs upward the corners of her mouth. That reminds me, the blue, not the panties. The word for a flock of butterflies is a swarm. I looked it up. Then makes my eyebrow raise into a questioning arch. Why don't you use it then? I like the other word better. Why look it up in the first place then? Then you should use it, right? She nods and falls silent, her gaze escaping mine to the side, attracted by the dark orange sunlight refracting from the windows. We stay like that for a little while, me silently looking at her, silently looking out of the window. Hey, you alright now? She glances at me from the corner of her eye, looking wistful again. The sunlight's reflection doesn't betray any more of her inner feelings. I'll need to think about that. I want to continue this conversation, grasping at those straws that she finally revealed to even exist. But Ren is looking out of the window so absent-mindedly that I know she won't be responsive in any way that would make sense. It's like some kind of defense mechanism of hers to avoid being sensible. Her mind is like a butterfly in itself, always fluttering somewhere away whenever it's stirred. Just when I thought I could see behind her wall, she jumps out of my reach again. Maybe that's just how Ren is. Maybe that's something I should just accept to get some peace of mind. Okay. I'll walk you back to the dorms then. Thanks. Really. The empty hallways of the school, devoid of its students, feel very lonely. Less than 1 hour after the summer vacation began, the building seems to be deserted, and all that intrudes on the stillness of the hallways are our footsteps. The change is sudden, but it shows how the building is just an empty shell, dead without its students and teachers. It's as though the school has become a private world for only the two of us, a desolate place filled with silence and chalk dust. I think I have to change. She says it out of the blue while we walk down the staircase from the 3rd floor, still managing to feel like she was mirroring what I was thinking just before. That's what people must do sometimes. That's the last thing we say to each other that day, even though there would be so much to talk about. And even those words drown in the all-encompassing silence, disappearing into the stagnant air as if they were never said. So that'll just about do it for this episode, and next time, the finale for Ren's arc. I'll see you guys then.